Hey guys, welcome to day 1 of our Monaco Nail Academy 5-day challenge. Before we kick into it, let's have a chat about what you can expect this week. Day 1, that's today, I'm going to take you through how to prepare the natural nail like a pro so that your polish lasts longer and looks better. Tomorrow, I'm going to show you how to do a French polish by hand so that you can impress your friends and family with your amazing new skills. Day 3, let's go into how to upgrade your manicures with handmade scrubs and masks that will leave your hands feeling amazing. Day 4, we're going to dive into some theory. If you're thinking of becoming a nail tech, being knowledgeable about the ins and outs of the services you provide is just as important as your practical skills. Don't worry though, I will do my best to make it interesting. Day 5, we get to the best bit, the nail art. We'll go through some tips and tricks for spicing up your manicures. All of these tutorials are mini versions of the skills we cover in our full nail tech course, the Foundation Certificate in Nail Technology. When you enroll, you'll cover much more over more than 53 hours of pre-recorded content and 81 hours of live lessons with a mentor. This taster course is designed to inspire you, to help you decide if being a nail tech is what you really want to do, and to give you an insight into our teaching techniques. Without further ado, let's jump on in. Hi guys, welcome to the tutorial on natural nail prep. This is prep for a traditional polish manicure. It's going to differ slightly from a gel polish manicure. But the very first thing that you need to do when your client walks in is sanitize, and that's going to be the same no matter what you're doing. So I prefer to use a spray sanitizer. You can use gel, you can use foaming sanitizer. Gel I find leaves a residue, and you do have to be really careful with residues and what's left behind by the products you use. So I would personally recommend a spray sanitizer if you can find one. When you use a spray sanitizer, you need to hold it approximately 20 centimeters above the client's hand so that it spritzes over the entire hand. Both hands. And if they do have any jewelry on, just like spin the jewelry as you spray so that you can get around it. You need to spray yourself as well. And then just let it air dry. It won't take long. It doesn't need rubbing in. But the main thing is not to sanitize too close. If you do this, you just end up with that area sanitized. You can probably see how shiny Riley's hand is, but only in that spot. And I see heaps and heaps of people sanitizing like this. First of all, it's only sanitizing that spot, but second of all, it can cause overexposure. Sanitizer is designed to dry instantly, and so if you do have heaps in one place, it can just cause drying. One time's not going to have a negative effect, but if it's on you in particular, you're going to end up with dry skin in that area where you habitually sanitize too close. So about 20 centimeters away. Once you have sanitized, you can go straight on to cleansing the nail plate. So you're going to take just a lint-free gauze wipe. I don't really trust the idea of lint-free, so we'll go into that a bit more later. But you're looking for a lint-free wipe, and then a cleanser. And you're just going to saturate the wipe with your cleanser, and then scrub. There's no chance of over cleaning, so make sure that you're really scrubbing quite thoroughly on the nail plate. You can't really tell when I'm doing it, but I am going around the cuticle, the laterals, the free edge, and the surface. So follow those steps as well. Cuticle, free edge, surface, laterals, cuticle, laterals, free edge, surface, over and over and over again. There's no such thing as cleaning too thoroughly. you really want to be thinking as if you're about to eat off her nails, like next level cleaning. And the reason that we are cleaning the nail plate at this stage so early actually has nothing to do with the quality of our work later. What we're trying to do is protect our files and buffers from the oil and debris currently on the client's nail plate. So they're walking in with oil, debris, bacteria, this morning's makeup, last night's dinner, all embedded in the surface of their nails, and that's going to go onto our files and buffers if we don't take it off first. So that's what we've done, is just clean the surface to protect our files, tools and buffers. The next step is to shape the natural nail. You can use either a 240 grit file. You would never go rougher than a 180. I'm using a 180 grit file today because that's what I have on hand, but it is a worn one, so it has been used, sanitized and disinfected a few times. It's not as rough as a brand new 180, which I would never use on a client straight away. So all we're going to do today is square nails. They're the easiest, and for now they'll be what you do. So hold the file so that the blue line or the center of the file is facing straight up to you. It's really important that it's at a perpendicular angle to the nail. If we look sideways, the file should look like this, a perfect right angle to the nail as we file. Move straight across in one direction if you can, but it's okay to cross back in the other. It's a common misconception that you can only file in one direction on the nail. The emery boards that your client would be likely to purchase at the supermarket are extremely rough, and if you did go back and forwards on the natural nail with those, you'd destroy it in seconds. With our files, when we're using the correct grit for the right nail, then it's okay, they're safe to go back and forward. When you've filed all nails working from pinky to thumb and pinky to thumb, you then need to do 3 checks. The first is what we call a context check. So that's looking at all nails together instead of individually to make sure that they look like they're a family, like they're all the same. Sometimes, you get one finger that kind of is a little bit crooked and you straighten it with the crookedness. But if you look at all fingers in context, it looks wrong. So you can just fix it slightly in the other direction so that it looks good in both scenarios. The second check that you need to do is to look at the hand from the palm. This is to make sure that the length of all nails is the same above the tip of the finger. Don't rely on the length from the front or from the surface of the nail, because the free edge is going to be different finger to finger and doesn't actually indicate the correct length. The last check is where you turn the client's hand around and check from their point of view whether or not all nails are straight. It's okay at any point to stop and just correct the angle of a nail so that all nails are perfect, and the consistency is key. They should all be the same, and that's what's most important. The next step is cuticle work. So with your cuticle work, you're going to work on approximately a 45-degree angle and start quite far back on the nail, but with not too much pressure. What you're doing is trying to peel the sticker, and what I mean by that is when you go to a shop and you buy something new and it's got that price tag on it, when you get the corner of the sticker up, the whole thing peels off much easier. So you're looking for the corner, only metaphorically, but it's going to make pushing back the cuticles much, much easier. As you're aware, cuticles actually a layer of dead skin sitting on the nail plate. It's not the eponychium like many of us were led to believe growing up. So we're not actually putting pressure on the eponychium. I'll just zoom in for that. You're not wanting to put any pressure on the eponychium. You're just working back. And because I'm confident I've been doing this a while, it does probably look like I'm going right up to the eponychium. I am. I'm just not pushing on it. When you finish pushing back cuticle off the nail plate, most cuticle pushers should have a blade end where you can then come round and just take out any debris. Now, the term blade is kind of misleading because it's not sharp. But do be careful that you're not actually letting OCD win and running right in too close around the epinicium, because you can cause damage, and all we're looking to do is take away any loose debris left behind by the cuticle pushing process. Anytime that you need to remove dust or debris from the nail plate, use a manicure brush. We use a 100% plastic manicure brush because it can be disinfected and sterilized. If you use one made with soft hair, even though it feels nice, it's actually not disinfectable, so it's not a good option for this particular task. The next step is to buff the surface of the nail with a 180 grit buffer. Just pull the lateral folds back with your stabilizing hand. Make sure that the buffer goes around the epinicium area, down the lateral folds, and across the surface of the nail. If you've shortened quite a lot, there can be debris under the nail, so a quick buff along the free edge can remove that completely. Remember that we're not trying to remove layers from the nail, we're trying to remove shine. There's a big difference, and you don't need to be sitting here buffing constantly and thinning out the nail. The client's just going to end up with damaged nails, and they won't be able to wear their gel polish or whatever service you're putting on them for as long as they should be. Now, because we're about to apply traditional polish and we're doing a express traditional manicure application, we want to bring the nails to a high shine before applying any polish. You do that by graduating through several different buffer grits. So I'm starting with a 220 grit buffer, and that is just a little step up from the 180 that I used to buff the nail surface originally. Go through all 10 nails working from pinky to thumb and pinky to thumb with the 220 grit side. Then we're going to repeat that with a 280 grit buffer, so again another step softer. Now we move on to a 400 grit buffer. And we're going to finish with a 4000 grit buffer, so much softer than the 180 we started with. If we go and buff really quickly like we have been doing, but with the 4000 buffer, you'll wear the 4000 grit buffer out within a few nails. You won't be able to bring the nails to a high shine. So instead we want to do the shine with as few strokes as possible, and we can do that by pressing and pulling. It is going to create a hideous screech, but that screech is a beautiful sound when you're in salon because it means that the nails are super shiny. Okay, so that is natural nail prep for a traditional polish manicure. Have a go at practicing that, and we will apply polish very shortly. Okay, so now that your natural nails are beautiful, you're going to want to polish them to perfection. You'll receive a new video tomorrow showing you how. In the meantime, everyone that tags Monaco Nail Academy and uses the hashtag 5-Day Challenge on Instagram or Facebook this week will go in the draw for one of 3 $250 online training vouchers drawn on Sunday night at 7 p.m. You can enter once each day for each of the 5 days of the challenge, so you have lots of chances to win. If you want to know more about what you can spend that voucher on, click the link near this video. I'll see you tomorrow.